Good afternoon, everybody. This is PreMarket Prep at the close. Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin with you for, I guess, what is our final broadcast before Christmas. Hope you all are having a good day so far. A little weird. Feels like we just spoke, Joel. So has anything happened since the last time we spoke?
Well, from the perspective of the S&P 500 index futures, really not much. We opened up the day session at 86 and a quarter, made a run at the pre-market high of 94.50, came up shy at 92.50, tailed off a little bit intraday, tried to hit that pre-market low of 78.50, turned away at 79.75, and just kind of been floating up the last hour here. I don't think any major imbalances have moved the market, but a real tight range here on some holiday trading. Crude flat here at 48.08. Gold reverses. That's now up 510 at 1883.20. Silver going the opposite way. That's down almost 2 pennies at 25.91. And Bitcoin's had a nice range today. About a $800 range, but that's currently trading in the red by $50 at 23,695.
Every time there's any sort of holiday break, I always like have a buying a bullish bias towards Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Or any
Bitcoin. Oh, yeah. If they'll
just
jam it over the weekend, huh?
I just assume that there's gonna be like a weekend rally in Bitcoin every single time we have like a holiday. Yeah. So let's talk Alibaba here, Joel. I guess the good news is you could say it found a bottom, and to put things in perspective, it's really only given back 5 months of gains, which I guess isn't the worst thing in the world. But it found a bottom here. Pull up that chart and talk us through the action this morning.
Yeah, if you want some more details, I actually did this as my pre-market prep stock of the day.
And real fast, before you continue, you can find those articles. They're all under Joel's name. If you just go to benzinga.com/author, I'll put the link in the chat. It's easy to find.
Yeah, and I usually do it on a stock that we covered. Sometimes they ask me to do it on something else, but this one was real interesting. I went and I did the history, and you got some heads up on this one. The Ant Group IPO was suspended. We saw that in November. Rallied a little bit off earnings, but they just showed no respect for this thing. Remember Singles Day? I don't remember it falling that hard. It got tarnished on Singles Day and then just started to leak once again. You're near the bottom of the move, and then the news came out. Talked to Triple D, and he did dump some of his position. I think half of it, and he's hoping to get a little bit of a rebound. And he doesn't like to sell into the hole on this one, but it's just, this is pretty big news. The Chinese regulators knocking on your door. We did take out that monthly low that I talked about on the show. That monthly low was 14.74. That was your July low. Now, if you're willing to take $3 worth of heat down to 11.23, that wasn't a bad buy at this point. Now just trying to rebound here, but I mean, it just was like, just get me out. Somebody, think the stock is going to see lower prices, and it did. So big volume day on the downside. See what Mr. Ma can do to repair relations with the Chinese government.
Let's talk Fubo.
The
company Lightshed Partners. They're not quite a sell side firm, but they do like technology and media research, basically for investors and for Wall Street. If you remember the name Rich Greenfield, he was an analyst at BTIG. He left a few years ago and started this company, Lightshed Partners. This is his firm, and they came out very negative today on Fubo, which is almost low hanging fruit because the stock's come high so fast. But they gave it an $8 price target.
Eight
initiated with a sell. And essentially what they're saying is it's going to be a lot harder than people assume to incorporate sports betting, because a lot of like the bullish thesis of these kinds of companies, anything with sports is having to do with sports betting. And they're saying it'll be a lot harder than you assume to incorporate sports betting into their business, especially if they're a broadcaster. So they are very bearish on Fubo, and they are having an influence here today.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I this one set up so nicely with that double bottom at 52.50. And actually they hit that when we were covering it on the show. It started to leak. Couldn't do any better in the regular session than 50.55. Traded down to 42.52. I mean, when these stocks have these kind of moves, I mean, you can wait for this to come back in. I'm looking at like this under $40, 38.50, 39. That would be the 50% retracement. Just a little bit too far, too fast. This line was this was in yesterday's article, folks. So this just wasn't written in today. Too bad I didn't even get a shot at that at 52.50. They whacked it in the pre-market. It's got to cool off. Let's see if it comes back down under 40, consolidates, and then tries to make another push higher. The only thing is now you're going to be running into some overhead supply, right?
That's always the fear. That's always the fear, and that's one of the reasons why I love selling. I'd rather sell too soon, is because if you wait, and then or if you get down in a position and you're waiting on that hopium trade, and you have the overhead supply of the people that are underwater that are going to sort of act as an artificial.
Yeah, get me out. Yeah, I mean, what a historic run. I mean, for the stock, and you see these kind of things. Is the story over? I don't know, but the other thing too, and I was actually discussing this with my daughter Dana yesterday, and she's like, the world comes to a halt, the coronavirus, but you know what? Sports has to go on. It's like so. And
except for when they didn't in the spring.
Yeah, at the halt in the spring, but. Just a hubbub. They're moving the playoffs from California, the college football playoffs, to Texas, and but a lot of the economy, depends on that. So, sports betting, sports wagering. I don't know if this is the most direct play in it, but Fubo cooling off today.
And then let's look at the cybersecurity trade. FireEye was the leader here, and is giving a good chunk of it back today. I guess it's off the low, but down 2.5%. And this thing was at a 5-year high yesterday.
Oh man,
5-year high.
Man, that big green candle on Monday, that was the key. Did follow through. Oh no, that was Friday. Follow through on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then you just got some profit taking. I don't know if it may be too early to draw a retracement in this one. I was almost chasing this one yesterday, but I just couldn't bring my heart, and I'm glad that I didn't. What you investors may want to keep an eye on in this issue is a pair of lows pretty much at the same area. 21.85, your low on Wednesday. 21.73, your low today. So call 21.78, 79, 21.80. You're about 60, 70 cents off that. So I think you're looking good here as long as you can hold that. You got the little pullback, got rid of some of the weak longs, but under 21, under that 21.73 low, things open up to 21.01.
All right, let's go to some tickers from the chat. STR910 is asking if it's too late for IPOC. This is a SPAC that's merging with Clover Health. That merger is not going to go through until after the new year, I believe, sometime in the first half of January. I think the first week of January or so. So IPOC, it hasn't really run like a lot of these SPACs have. Actually, no, I take that back. Yes, it has.
What's the symbol?
IPOC. It's gone from it was $10 a week ago, a week and a half ago. It's gone from 10 to 15, which ain't bad for a week and a half.
No, that's a pretty boy, oh boy. I mean, just another good day on it. I mean, this is a tough one here. I'm gonna pass on this one.
These SPACs are all tough. And I mentioned this real quick yesterday, but I decided to buy that actively managed SPAC ETF, the SPCX, and solely for the reason that I can't keep up with all these SPACs. I really can't. But at the same time, I acknowledge that it's been a relatively easy, pain-free trade. Right? You buy it before you buy any SPAC, and when they pop on the acquisition, you sell it. I don't have the attention span to babysit all the a million SPAC positions, so I just bought the SPCX to hopefully capture that for me. I don't. Yeah,
Ah,
they're all really tough. They're all really tough. Like I said, the merger is not going to go through until I think January 7th or 8th or sometime in that window. If you believe in the company, if you like Clover Health, then why not own it? But
Clover Health, a health company, a health SPAC. That doesn't sound too
I mean,
exciting.
it's like a Medicare provider.
Okay.
So
But
so
that sure doesn't fit the bill of the other ones. But if you're chasing it up here, I I think I'd rather see this under 13 a little bit, maybe closer to the 1260 low. But I don't know, maybe you'll get up if you take out that low from today, which is closing off it, it's basically a little over what 4.5 point move, so 2.25, 1275, 1217, 13. I think I'd be a little bit more comfortable bringing in and trying to chase it here. But I mean, these things, it hasn't paid to wait. When they come back up those pullbacks, sometimes the party's over.
okay, what about WW, the company formerly known as Weight Watchers? Now they just call it WW. I haven't looked at this one for a hot.
Quiet lately, huh?
Very quiet.
Uh, Trying to regain its luster. I don't know why it got hit off earnings, but that chart doesn't look half bad. Trying to clear, put in a little pair of lows here, right here, back with your lows in November. You are clearing yesterday's high. That was 27.85. You're at 28.06. So, yeah, you got some room up here between 28 and 30 here. That's what I'd keep an eye on. One intermediate high at 29.29 on your way up to 30.10. But, this stock had its big run. It had its decline, made another major run, got hit with the market in March. And I just think from a long-term investing perspective, I mean, if you're trading this thing and you're looking for 2, 3, 4 points, yeah, maybe it's good, but it just kind of feels like you're never going to see this thing over $100 again. And from a long-term perspective.
Joel, look at Nautilus. This one's interesting here. This one, it looks like it topped out at the same area it did in early November, November 10th, whatever that day was. Looks like it just topped out right there. This is an interesting chart.
Yeah. Yeah. On one day you hit 2263 on November 12th, but that next day you stopped at 2230. And then two times you had a look at that 2235 and 2236. That was Tuesdays and Wednesdays highs, backing off today. So no can do until this thing. I mean, now you're $1.50 off that area. That's some major resistance there. Coming in after it had that real nice run, got over $28. But yeah, those are kind of levels I like to look at. Good resistance, was forming resistance, and pops its head up in there on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah, and just for everyone that's dropping SPACs in there, these are really tough, man. Like, especially if they're, when they're still trading as the SPAC, and you've got some people that own the stock because they believe in the company they're merging with. Some people are buy it just to own the SPAC. They're really, really tough. I mean, we could pull some of them up here, but
I mean, we do. And did Mitch do his SPAC show today?
I don't know. I didn't watch. I think Mitch might be out. I think Mitch is off today.
Okay. I mean, if you want to follow those closely, I am not invested in any of them. Look at the chart from what Craig Johnson showed us yesterday. So yeah, tune into the SPAC show
here,
on that.
why not look at TTCF? This is Tattooed Chef. This one looks it's got some pretty defined resistance. This one is post merger.
Okay, post merger, had to run up into the merger. Got it. I mean, it's just got to get through 26. I mean, that was the high back in October. A little bit more into the 26 handle. That was 2650. What you hit on Tuesday, you hit 2674, but backed off. So, yeah, that's important. It's trying to get to that other monthly high. Maybe best case scenario for here, maybe it just doesn't fall off a cliff, like it did here or here, but just hangs in and consolidates, and then finally, has some momentum to get through that 2675 area.
All right. What about AQB? This is wild to me. So Kathy Wood is so flaming hot right now that people are tracking which stocks Ark Invest has bought because they're actively managed funds. These ETFs are actively managed. So people are tracking what stocks that they're actively buying and selling for their portfolio of funds, and they do rebalancing and stuff. So sometimes when they sell, like they sold Tesla a few months ago because they had to rebalance a little bit. But AQB here, if you pull up that chart, Joel, someone in the chat they're saying that Kathy Wood bought this. It is wild to me that people are tracking Kathy Wood now. That's how hot she is. That their stocks can move just because she bought it for one of her funds, not her, but her firm bought it for one of their funds. Crazy stuff.
Hard top there, man.
Pull up a chart.
Oh, I'm sorry. Got rid of the chart. I mean, this is clear. It's defined resistances you're going to get here on a daily chart. Look at that. 3 highs. And are they almost exact here? The 3 highs, 1027, 1029, 1025. So if you chased her into this, there's a big seller there. And now you are closing in on the low from yesterday. 934, matching lows from yesterday, closing at 937, 938. I don't know, folks. You may have a chance to get this cheaper for sure. Nothing breaking out on the upside until you clear those 3 highs at 1030. And your next daily low, Tuesday's low, was down at 850. So I don't know if you followed her in, you might be holding on to this one for a while. S&Ps are just pressing into the close here, trying to reach that pre-market high 94.50, pretty darn close. So far we've hit 94, but we got a few minutes to go.
All right, let's do GEVO here. This is a lower priced one. I know this one has had a couple of rallies this year, and crashes. Oh, wow. Didn't expect to see that. Okay. I didn't realize it was higher than it. I knew it had that pop around Thanksgiving. I didn't realize it had gone all the way to $4.
Yeah, got over 4. Peeling back here. I don't know why it was up so high today.
Gosh, you know what? Doesn't that candle from today look a lot like the candle from the 24th of November? I mean, it's just in terms of it makes the high and then it sort of washes out.
Yeah, but it's still green. So, you still got a lot. I mean, a gap down here. I'm not sure what the news was, but looks like so far. Well, how high did you get on this one? New high in the S&Ps here, going into the close. 4.25. I mean, you're kind of in the middle. I mean, the low that you have today is the lowest low the stock, highest low the stock has made in ages here. So if you want to let it run, give yourself a little gap between 316 and 304. But you're 70 cents away from that. So looks good. Not great with these $4 or $5 stocks.
All right. I mean, I can't believe that the session's almost over, but here we are. It's 12:59, under a minute left in today's session.
Yeah.
Joel, any final thoughts? Obviously, we're off Friday, but we'll be back on Monday. You have any parting thoughts?
We just strong day here. We were strong overnight. Little weakness 11:30, 12, but finishing up for the highs of the session, we are going to be, let's see, if we close right here at 95, be our third highest all-time closing high. The highest being 37.1275. All-time high was made on Monday. Wild day on Monday at 37.24. Pair of highs up there. So no quit in this market yet as we head into Christmas Day.
The final tally is Russell in the red, slightly by a hair. NASDAQ in the green. S&Ps in the green. There's our disclaimer. Please remember all the information from our show is meant to be used as informational purposes, not for investing or trading advice. That's what we got. Everyone have a good rest of your day. Have a Merry Christmas. Have a great weekend. Good luck in your trading. For those of you who trade futures or Bitcoin or any markets that are still open right now, we'll talk to you on Monday. Everyone have a great weekend and stay safe. That's it.